I'm Camilla Fuchs. I'm a business analyst at UniChem. UniChem is a pharmaceutical wholesaler, so we distribute pharmaceutical products to a range of hospitals, independent pharmacies, large pharmacy chains, and dispensing doctors. We had a business issue that we wanted to resolve. We had what was called a trading agreement proposal process, which is the process that the sales guys go through in order to sign customers up or agree the terms that a customer is going to trade with UniChem on. And this goes through a number of channels across a number of departments across the business. And this was being handled on pieces of paper. So there was a number of pieces of paper being passed around the business and things were getting lost. So we were looking for a solution to this problem, and BPM fitted to this, and that's where the initiative started, really. We did all the research and figured out exactly what it was that we wanted to do, and then put together a business case to actually purchase the software, with the intention of implementing it across other processes. Once we realised what the capabilities of the software were, it was far easier to put a business case together for it. We wanted some software that was quick and easy to implement and develop, and didn't require a lot of development, what I'd call hardcore development time and people, and also that it was easy for potentially the business to understand what it was that we were trying to do, rather than your typical IT solution where the business doesn't necessarily understand the software and what exactly it is that you're trying to do. And the idea potentially was to put the process modelling side of things into the business's hands, so that IT were less involved in that side of things. Sure. The TAP process is the trading agreement proposal process. The sales guys go through in order to sign up and agree the terms and conditions that the customer is going to trade with UniChem on. It's a process that has to go through the sales management team, and then onto finance management team in order to, before a customer can start trading with us. Problem was that this process was taking up to about 6 weeks to get signed off, and things were getting lost in the process. So in turn, there was a potential that we were losing customers and revenue, because it wasn't visible as to where the issues were, where the bottlenecks were, and what was happening in the process. And so what we've managed to do now is what we also had was that because things were on pieces of paper and sales managers are out in the field, we had the wrong people in the sales department signing things off. So we've now managed to put this into the hands of the actual sales managers, the appropriate people who know the customers and can make more informed decisions on the proposals. The sales force have full visibility now of exactly where in the process their TAP is, and questions obviously arise as you go through the process. Again, in the past this has been handled by a particular administrator who it was their full-time job to manage the process and manage and field all of the questions that were going through to the sales force, which now is handled by the system. So we've managed to reduce the administration time of a particular individual, and the sales force the questions go directly to the appropriate people rather than having to pass through various different channels. So we've reduced the length of time that it takes to process a tap. We have full visibility of where things are in the system, full audit trail of exactly what's been signed off and when and by who. And we are able to report on certain information which in the past we haven't been able to do. I'd say that those are probably the top three, really, and reducing the administration time. The amount of an individual's time that was in the past spent on administrating this process has now been redeployed to doing something else more useful. I think the process hasn't. I think it's made people aware of what this kind of software can do, and it's a very good example of this because it crosses the different departments. But the visibility, administration time, and the reduction in the process time is enough of a benefit to have justified the investment. Since the initial process, we've implemented one other process and have another one that's about to be deployed. And what I've been doing over the last 6 months is raising the awareness across the business of what this software and business process management, the concept, can do for the organisation. And we're now actually at a stage where we need to work out exactly what the strategy is as a company. And so it's still to come. It hasn't quite been decided. But there is a huge amount of interest across the organisation at the various different levels to utilise the software and the concept as much as we possibly can. Pick a specific process that you want to look at and to utilise the software to gain some benefits from that before you necessarily look at the whole organisation. So, i.e. start small rather than start with a large implementation. And also pick processes that are very key to the business, that people are very aware of, and touch the various different areas so that you can prove a number of things with one implementation, rather than picking something that isn't necessarily going to give you, that ultimately could give you business benefit in the future once you've proved the concept. I think that's one of the ideas behind the TAP process, that actually our competitors, we think, can do things quicker than we can turn around trading agreement proposals, so to speak, quicker than we can. But now that we've got the software, we are able to compete with them, and we now have the software and the technology that will allow us to jump over our competitors and do things better than they can.